So people have been investing last 2 years in record numbers. I mean, people have this fear of missing out. They've been investing in record numbers in this thing called AI, right? Chat GPT now partnering with Microsoft. You've got Meta developing their own one, Google developing their own one, and then there's subsets of AI all over the place. It's like inundating our life. We're hearing about it in medical, we're hearing about it just about in every aspect of our lives. And, they're telling us that, invest in power companies because these new AI buildings are going to require a lot of invest in NVIDIA because they're the only ones who can make these chips. And then you got this other guy come along, namely China, who, by the way, the US doesn't let NVIDIA chips, get sold into China because these NVIDIA chips are so cutting edge. They put an embargo on them. Now, I'm not sure, I'm sure there's a black market. And I know that, this model that China created called DeepSeek um, probably doesn't use those NVIDIA chips anyway. They use a lesser chip and, we've invested close to, who knows how much we've invested so far into this whole AI movement. I'm sure it's in the billions. I mean, I know the hard costs have been coming up at like over a half a billion, but I'm sure there's more than that in there. And China comes out and says, hey, check this out. And it's like the number one downloaded software right now on the Apple Store. Check it out and see what you think, and guess what? It's just as good, at least when you look at it, as these Microsoft ChatGPT, the Meta, the Google. It's just as good as those solutions. It's open source, which means that, anybody can look at how the code works. In fact, they are open to that idea. They want people to, like, who are coding to, like, come in and, like, help make it better, right? And it doesn't use the fancy chips. It doesn't use all the electricity. It doesn't require all the buildings, and it's just as good a product. At least that's what it seems like. So, yeah, investors pulled their money really quickly on Monday from all these, like, this bill of goods that they've been sold, saying, "Oh my God, if somebody's already got a widget at a hundredth of the cost, and it's open source and there's no secrecy around how it worked, blah blah blah." So they pulled their money, but they didn't pull their money from the market, Sim. If you take a look at our equal weighting index that we like to look at every week in this show, they didn't really pull their money from the markets. They just pulled their money from those big companies that have been, like, soaring in the last 18 months on this AI story. And instead, they took their money and they put it into some solid bets like Costco and Walmart and things like that that aren't AI based. They're just solid companies that, like, work. Look at the price of gold. The price of gold has been soaring. People are like, yeah, okay, I'm just going to take my money out and put it into a sure deal.